Very serious.
Hello everybody, this is Mentor Lawyer with another video about the Donna Adelson case and the latest development in the case. So, the defendant, Donna Adelson, just filed a motion, well, it was filed yesterday, filed a motion to suppress. The motion is significant. It addresses the new investigation and specifically the statements of Ms. Bernhardt, one of the two informants that had previously been identified by the state. The motion is quite interesting. I only briefly read it. I was playing soccer, but a storm came up. So instead of soccer, I came to the office and there we go. I found a motion that I should discuss. So what I will do is I'm going to come back later and I will discuss it later today in detail. But right now, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction about what the issue is. So when a defendant exercises the right to have a defense attorney and not to speak to the police, they are not supposed to be talked to by law enforcement. Law enforcement cannot initiate conversations with a defendant who is represented by counsel. And if a law enforcement officer violates that and obtains information from the defendant, a motion to suppress would be in order and the court would probably suppress whatever statements are made. The state can't use other people as their own agents. So sometimes you would have the cops doing that. Other times it would be a situation like the one that is addressed in this motion when somebody becomes an informant for the state, but the state gets them to act as their own agent, like their own detective, and the informant starts to ask questions of the defendant in violation of the right to counsel and of the right to not make statements in response to law enforcement questions. So that's what the issue in this motion is. What the motion alleges is that the state of Florida was in negotiations with Ms. Bernhardt about giving her a deal while Ms. Bernhardt was in jail with Donna Adelson. And Ms. Bernhardt agreed to become an informant for the state. But the issue alleged in this motion, again, we're not taking positions on any motion or any response. We're just telling you what this is about. What the motion alleges is that in spite of instructions from Investigator Newland of the State Attorney's Office for Ms. Bernhardt not to ask any questions, not to initiate any conversations about the case with Donna Adelson, but to report anything that she overhears Donna Adelson say about the case, what the motion says is that a new third person was identified, a new informant was identified who had knowledge about the case by the state of Florida. Her name is Mickey, and Mickey was housed with Bernhardt and with Adelson. Mickey says that Donna Adelson treated Bernhardt as her own daughter in jail, like her jail daughter. And Mickey says that Ms. Bernhardt didn't just listen to what Donna Adelson had to say, but initiated some of those conversations and was asking questions. So then this will be really a factual issue where there probably should be an evidentiary hearing unless the state concedes. It is very possible that the state of Florida will concede the issue, and that's that. And what the motion is trying to do is to suppress any statements that Ms. Bernhardt shared with prosecutors about what Donna Adelson said after a particular date. I think it was December 20 of last year. So what they're trying to suppress is anything that Drina Bernhardt obtained from Donna Adelson after that date, because the motion alleges that Ms. Bernhardt wasn't there just listening to whatever Donna Adelson had to say about her case, but was actively questioning and pursuing information on behalf of the state to try to get an even better deal in her own case. So that's what the issue is. It's an important motion. It doesn't reflect what position the state of Florida is taking on the motion. So that it doesn't look like at the end they consulted and said the state agrees or disagrees. So obviously we'll look forward to seeing what's going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be a huge effect on the state of Florida. Of course, we can't really tell because most of the new investigation materials have been suppressed, right? Have been sealed. I'm sorry, not suppressed, but sealed. So we can't really see what's going on. What information did this lady obtain from Donna Adelson after December the 20th? But that's going to be the issue that revolves around this motion, is whether or not Drina Bernhardt is going to be able to share at trial any information that she obtained from Donna Adelson after December 20, if indeed the judge agrees that she was acting more as an agent for the state than as a passive listener who obtained that information and passed it over to the state of Florida. So that's going to be an interesting issue, a little hiccup here right before the trial. I don't think it should have any effect on the trial date. And I personally don't think that the new investigation is going to be the winning evidence for the state. This is like a bonus that they got due to the delay caused by Charles Adelson. None of this would have been state evidence had that trial happened back last year. But the trial got delayed, and the state of Florida got all this additional new information from the new investigation that they're going to use against Donna. Obviously, it's something that is very bothersome for the defense. And as you remember, there is a pending motion from the defense, a motion in limine, trying to remove as much as possible of this information that the two informants provided to the state of Florida. They're trying to knock down most of what they said. And Judge Everett hadn't ruled on it, so the motion wasn't heard at the last pretrial. Instead, Judge Everett had ordered the defense to file a written response, and so everybody's waiting for a ruling from the judge. And remember that the defense and the trial counsel certainly will be Jackie Fulford from all appearances. Jackie was saying, listen, whether I'm going to give an opening statement at the beginning or after the state's case, or whether it's going to be more or less than 30 minutes, it will depend on your ruling, Judge. And then also when she was asked about how long is the defense case going to be, she said again, it's going to depend on your ruling on that motion, Judge. So all of that is about the motion to suppress the statements that Drina Bernhardt and Patricia Byrd gave to law enforcement in several interviews. So now this is an additional motion that addresses other arguments, right? Not the ones already made in the motion in limine, but this is new arguments based on this new information that the defendant obtained through this interview with another person. So I'll read a little bit of it, and then I'm going to have to rush off. But I'm hoping to come back tonight and do a more in-depth analysis. So let me just go to the key of this motion. So it talks about the fact that on April 7, 2025, the state disclosed the existence of two jail informants. One of them was Drina Bernhardt. Although the recordings of her interviews with law enforcement were provided, they weren't able to depose Drina until August 11. So this week, was it Monday, I guess, or Tuesday, because Bernhardt had violated probation and she couldn't be found. She was arrested on August 5th, and then they were able to depose her on the 11th. Then on August 12th, the state disclosed another witness, Mickey Easterwood, aka Mickey Lang. This lady was incarcerated with Adelson and Bernhardt and provided a recorded interview which took place also on August 11 with investigator Jason Newland and Special Agent Patrick Sanford. During that interview, Miss Eastwood, Mickey Lang, disclosed that rather than Bernhardt merely listening to Donna Adelson make statements about her case, Bernhardt also asked Adelson questions. Now, I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm going to remind you one more time about one thing. I'm just reading the allegations, and these are the defense allegations. Sometimes lawyers embellish their position or undermine the other side's position or exaggerate. I have no way of judging whether that's happening in this motion or not. I'm simply reading the allegations from the motion. And so it says, as a result of Bernhardt acting as an agent of the state by asking all those questions of Ms. Adelson, she moves to suppress any statements that Adelson made to Bernhardt after December 20, 2024. Then it goes on to state the relevant facts for this motion to suppress. Says that she testified that the Bernhardt testified that she met Adelson in the annex at the jail. Adelson was initially moved into the annex on August of 24. Bernhardt was arrested for a violation of probation and a new charge on September 18, 2024. On December 5th, Bernhardt was interviewed by Joshua Turner of the Leon County Sheriff's Office, and Turner provided Bernhardt with his contact information. Subsequent to that interview, Bernhardt wrote a letter to Turner, and then they attach a copy as an Exhibit A to this motion. Then on December 18, Turner interviewed Bernhardt. During the interview, Bernhardt provided the Leon County Sheriff's Office with information about a human trafficking case and about the Adelson case. That's December 18. Then on December 18, 2024, Turner contacted Jason Newling from the State Attorney's Office. December 20, Bernhardt was brought to the State Attorney's Office to be interviewed. And during the interview, she confirmed her current plea offer was 5 to 6 years. During the deposition, Bernhardt conceded she was both a violent felony offender of special concern and that she qualified for sentencing as a prison releasee reoffender. So basically, she qualified for enhanced punishment in her case. So basically, she was very willing to cooperate because she was very incentivized to cooperate because of the significant punishment that she was facing. The statements Bernhardt made are addressed in the motion that was filed, the motion limited that I mentioned before. Bernhardt told the state on December 20 that Adelson called Bernhardt her jail daughter. During the recorded interviews, law enforcement told Bernhardt not to ask Adelson questions and just to listen to whatever Adelson said about the case. Specifically, Newland stated, open quotes, "So you cannot be an agent for us. I can't send you in there to ask her any questions. Listen, if she has a casual conversation with you, there's nothing stopping you from having a conversation with her. Don't make things weird. Don't initiate any of these conversations." Newland then continued, "That is one of the biggest things that is to come out of this meeting with us is don't make it awkward, but definitely do not go back there on our behalf thinking you need to get us more information." Then they have a typo. It just says "the," and then the sentence is incomplete. Bernhardt testified that she provided written documents to Turner of what Adelson asked and instructed Bernhardt to say when testifying on 10 different occasions. She later testified this happened more than 10 times. During the August 11 deposition, Bernhardt initially claimed she did not ask Adelson any questions, but later said she did ask Adelson questions. The fact that Bernhardt, again, it doesn't say when the questions were asked, was it before or after she talked to law enforcement? But anyway, the fact that Bernhardt engaged in conversations rather than just acting as a listening post with Adelson is corroborated by a subsequent witness, that's Mickey Easterwood. This Mickey Easterwood said that told law enforcement that Bernhardt questioned and manipulated Donna Adelson. So this Mickey Easterwood apparently is trying to help out Donna Adelson. During the August 11, 2025 interview, Easterwood, the new lady, said, "It was very obvious that she was trying to get information out of Donna. So again, we don't have the full transcript, so we can't really evaluate anything. I'm just telling you guys what's in this motion. So instead of acting as a listening post, the motion says Bernhardt was not merely a passive listener, rather, she continued to engage in conversations with Adelson. Statements purportedly made by Adelson after December 20 were a product of these conversations. The state's desire to elicit additional statements from Adelson resulted in 3 additional recorded interviews with Bernhardt. So there's 3 more interviews where Bernhardt provided a lot of information, apparently, against Donna Adelson that have been used against Donna, or at least they're planned to be used by Donna against Donna by the state of Florida. So, so they move to suppress it. They talk about the law. I don't have the time right now to read all of this and to do my own research and to evaluate and to explain to you their position. And obviously, I have no idea how the state is going to respond to any of this, whether the statements of any of these witnesses is properly characterized in this motion or not. We can't tell you. So there's nothing really to say there. The other motion that was filed in the case had to do with Wendy Adelson, totally expected motion. She's simply saying, if the defense puts me on the witness stand, I'm going to plead the fifth. Therefore, the state of Florida can put me on the witness stand under a subpoena. So Wendy Adelson would be protected, would have qualified immunity or limited use immunity for whatever she says while she's on direct and cross. So the defense can cross-examine her when she's put on the witness stand by the state, but the defense cannot use her. In other words, Wendy is not going to risk her freedom to help out her mom. She is not going to testify if the defense wants her to testify during their portion of the case because she wouldn't be protected by the state subpoena. I understand some people were said something about volume. As always, we always download, increase the volume, increase the quality, and re-upload. So if there is any issues with the volume on this video, I apologize, but I'll make it better for you guys later. I was just on vacation, and during my vacation, as a normal lawyer, we think about our cases. And I thought about many of my cases, and I actually treat this as one of my cases. So, of course, I was thinking quite a bit about the state of Florida versus Donna Adelson. And I wrote, I thought, a very interesting and amusing summary of the positions of the state of Florida, of Catherine McBanua, of Sigfredo Garcia, of Charles Adelson and Donna Adelson potentially, right? So what's likely Donna Adelson to argue or to, what is she going to say at her trial to try to defend herself? That is a video that was read by this awesome guy who's often insulted on on the comments on our videos about being AI or sounding like AI. Ed is like this awesome guy. He used to work in TV. He's retired. He's an officer, an officer in a nonprofit corporation. He takes his own time to do this for free. So I did this awesome summary. He read it amazingly. Actually, on my drive back from my vacation to Tallahassee last night, I was listening to this guy reading, and he made it sound even better than what I thought about it when I was writing that. And so I hope you guys check it out. It was a video that we published last night. There are a couple of minor errors. Like, for example, there's 3 things that I noted from his reading that I would have done differently. Number 1 is, I think that when we were talking about Catherine McBanua and what her theory was at her trial, that she was like the girl in the middle, right? She was the girl in the middle, the part that was missing. And actually, that was my mistake. I forgot to type it in on a love triangle. So that was her argument. The other one, I wrote them down. What were the other 2 things? Also, I wanted to put in there something about why I think, thinking back as a Monday Night Quarterback, why is it that she didn't take that deal in the beginning? And I think it was that she totally trusted her lawyers. She didn't want to testify against Sigfredo Garcia. And she was so confident in her lawyers that they could pull her out of the situation that she thought that she also was going to get big bucks. That if she gets acquitted, she will save the Adelsons from prosecution, and they would really owe her big. So her benefits for a lifetime would increase exponentially. So anyway, I hope you guys check it out. Ed Talk did an amazing job. Ed did an amazing job last night reading that. I put it together like at the last second, just before I started driving. I uploaded it. I listened to it on the way home from our trip. And I hope you guys listen to it and enjoy it because it's really well done. And I'm glad you're all here, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Mentor Lawyer Deep Dive to Crime. And guess what? I do have enough staff to attend the full trial, to stream the entire trial. We're going to be there from gavel to gavel, from jury selection until the verdict, all the way as always. So we're going to cover the trial. We have enough people to help, and we hope you all watch it right here with us. Thanks for watching Deep Dive to Crime, Mentor Lawyer. And you know what? We will be in the courtroom, and I will be on the chat. So not only do you get to support the channel that has covered this case forever, but also you're going to get to interact with me while I'm in there. Because I'm not going to be there the whole time, but all the times that I'm there, especially for the key moments, you're going to be with me on the chat. All right? Thanks, guys. Until next time, Deep Dive to Crime.